Hey, before we kick things off, I want to talk about the beer sponsor of this show. You guys already know it's a great tasting, less filling, Miller Lite. I'm excited for this weekend. We're going to Nashville. Definitely some Miller Lites on deck for us. You guys went to Billy Joel last weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a nice touch to be able to have Miller Lite at Soldier Field.
Yeah.
It's the only good thing about that dump.
Yeah.
It just might be.
Yep.
It just might be. It always is a nice little jolt when you go to a Miller Stadium. We're going to Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for, too. Hopefully they got some Millers there. And
I'm sure they will.
Just in general, at Barstool Nashville, we're gonna be having them. And even Friday, might doing some grilling out, Dave. Grill some burgers, grill some briskets. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, grilling and Miller Lite with a beer in your hand, it goes hand in hand, literally.
It's Americana.
It's Americana.
Mm-hmm.
It's the original light beer since 1975, a perfect companion for grill master across America. With a Miller Lite in your hand, grilling doesn't just taste great. It tastes like Miller times. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/midshow, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. On that note, all right, bang, bang, welcome to the Mid Show. We will have Steven Cheah coming on later. We talked about the Josh Giddey trade. We talk about the NBA draft. That obviously will happen a day later, but kind of get some primer. A nice little Bulls discussion. As bad as things are, that's the most we've had to kind of talk about because they actually made a move for the first time in 2 years. So it was weirdly therapeutic to kind of bitch about them and just talk about the Bulls for once.
They should be slightly more mediocre next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Besides that, we'll get to the Cubs being the same as they've been for the last 2 months.
I can't. I get to the point I can't watch them anymore.
Yeah, it's bad.
I thought you're setting a record this year.
I mean, I'll still go to the stadium because I live there, but it's bad.
And then obviously, the NHL draft is Friday, but I want to get into that now. But before we get into it, we left off last show. Do we want to talk about the dozen at all?
Didn't we talk about it last time?
No, we haven't touched on it.
I feel like we've talked about it. Congratulations on your channel.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Lance, we didn't talk about this, did we?
A lot of snack questions I noticed.
Yeah.
That randomly.
Just as much as any other team.
John Q and their movie question was so much easier.
But hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You play who's in front of you. You still have to answer the question. You answer the questions that you're given. You were given some interesting questions, and you got it. So MVP, congratulations to Ed.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Ken Jack's the movie guy. If you got a movie guy on your team, your movie question is going to be a little harder. That's how it always.
That's so dumb, though.
But that's how it's always been.
Do you think your snack questions are hard?
Oh yeah. Are you crazy? Our snack questions are definitely harder. The one about kazoos or whatever versus fucking puffed Cheez-It.
I'll give you that.
Come on, you're gonna tell me
even I knew that one was puffed cheese.
Yes,
yeah, because we have them in the office.
Yes,
yeah,
and they got that wrong.
I don't think I've ever had the puffed Cheez-It though. And Cheez-It,
it's good.
It's probably my favorite snack food. Like the packaged snack food. I say Cheez-It's my number one. Yeah. I have never really gone outside the original for Cheez-Its.
So, little teaser. Me and Clem got a little snack show that's coming up. Mm-hmm. And there's a new Cheez-It that I had. Probably my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably
I like the burnt ones too. The
extra burnt. Yeah.
So
they're a little darker.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, he sent us Drake's cakes. Maybe we'll just end the show with that. We'll try to zoom him in, and we'll do some review.
What's a Drake cake?
So it's only East Coast. Yeah, I've never had it.
Never heard of it.
Have you guys had it?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, you have? Oh, yeah. He wanted to send us
Drake cakes and Taylor ham to do
to do a live review. So
yeah,
we'll see. Regardless, thanks for the.
It's like Hostess. They're
okay.
Great.
All right.
They're great.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for your not really.
No, I said congratulations on your trophy and the MVP and
your caveats.
Yeah,
it's fine. I don't need that. All I could do is answer the question.
You brought it up. I think this is the third show because I know what I was thinking of now is a free swim. You brought it up.
No, I wouldn't bring it up with a free swim.
You brought it up. This is not the first time I've talked about it.
Lance is in here every time. We have not talked.
Not the first time I've talked
since I won.
Yes,
we have not talked about it.
We talked about how Portnoy was going to bring it on the. He was trying to get it on the
we have
duck
not
boat.
Talked about it. Lance, have we talked about it?
I don't think we've
No.
talked about it. We've talked about it here in studio. We were
That's
talking
it.
about with like Fasoli.
All right, so I have definitely talked about it. Maybe it just wasn't on
Yeah,
camera.
all right. Well, just all right.
So I mean, it's still a conversation.
we
that
don't need to
we've
get
had
into
about
it a lot.
No,
Obviously,
you
historic
won't. I mean,
season, best team of all time, but we could stop there.
best team of all time.
Yeah, we're the best team of all time. One loss,
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
so we
Yeah.
could stop there. Good luck with the draft, by the way. Hopefully, Kelly Keegs doesn't leave you guys. That'd be.
It's not up to us.
I know.
It's up to the
So I'd be sad.
league now.
We're leaving each other, most likely.
That'd be sad.
Yeah,
Would you be sad?
a little bit.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Dave and I are loyal guys. We're loyal. The team.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, Rico was your original member. What happened
Yeah,
there?
he quit because he didn't want to play cons. There's nothing we could do about that. He
I
quit
mean,
the game.
maybe if you were a real leader, you could have talked him into it.
No, I don't think so. Cons was persona non grata for a while. All right, the draft's Friday.
NHL draft.
Yes.
Yes. I want to pull up.
Why is the NBA draft on a Wednesday and the NHL's on a Friday? I feel like historically they're both on Thursdays.
I think the calendar is a little bit different. Typically, the NBA ends after the NHL too, and I think with the new NHL TV deal, because now they're all on the same networks effectively, that there's some kind of conflict, or not necessarily conflict, but they arranged it to end the way it did with the NHL finishing second, and that makes the NHL week. So the season ended Monday night, and the draft is Friday, and the new calendar starts on July 1, which is when you do all the free agents. So from the end of the season, like if you're a team in the finals, you are really at a pretty significant disadvantage, because you still have to do all your exit interviews with your potential free agents and everybody else. Then you have to be like, oh, what the fuck are we going to do for next year? So it is a very cramped calendar for the NHL. And Elliot Friedman was saying that a lot of like the people in the league, like the different GMs, are like, this is bullshit. We have to figure this out going forward.
How many games did both the Oilers and the Panthers play?
I think the Oilers played 25. I'm not sure how many the Panthers played
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
All right, so over 100.
100 some
Fuck.
games.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
They
lot.
So many
they're
hockey
they're
games,
they're
dude.
definitely over. They were both definitely over 100 games.
So many hockey games.
Yeah,
Like you could tell in that left shift, like
they're gassed.
Oh, they
were gassed.
I was talking to you about this off camera. I said I was excited for Game 7. It's a good game.
Yeah, it was an exciting game.
Good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. And then the guy who made the play to really keep the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup, our old friend Gus Forsling. When McDavid made that play, it looked like he was going to have an empty net, and Forsling was right there, right time, clamped the stick down. That was it. That was their only really good chance, I would say, in the third period. So
shout out to Gus.
Shout out Gus Forsling. Gave him away for basically nothing.
All right, so number 2 pick.
Yep. I will say I am getting so exhausted of Chicago sports Twitter, between the Caleb and Justin Fields people, and then I would say you guys probably aren't aware of this because you're not in the hockey mud, but the Levshinov-Demidov fight. The people there's like this faction of people on the internet who will like basically want to stab you in the eyeball for saying anybody other than Demidov. Because he's a forward, he plays in Russia, but they just are declaring him as the next Nikita Kucherov, as if like they know, as if they're watching the MHL, which is like the Russian junior leagues. Like nobody fucking knows. So they're going to get a good player. I really don't even care who they draft. I would lean Levshinov. I think they're going to take Levshinov, but if they take Demidov, like we'll see what we got. Like he's
Wild card.
it looks like I'm sure he'll be a nice player. You don't get picked on the top 5 unless you have a lot of talent, and top 5 picks in this day and age don't really miss very often. So he might not, he'll be in the NHL. I'm sure he'll be a good player. Maybe those people are right, but it's just like, it's so infuriating that they just make these declarative statements about 18-year-old kids who play behind the Iron Curtain, like, and you're watching the same YouTube highlights as everybody else. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? But I do think they're going to take Levshinov. I think that's the right move. If you do that, your top 4 defense of the future is kind of set with Vlasic and Korchinski, and then Sam Rinzel, who's at Minnesota, was a first-round pick a couple years ago, and then Levshinov. I think Levshinov might actually play in the NHL this coming year. He's either going to go back to Michigan State for 1 year, but it's possible that he's so big, like physically, like he looks like people were joking, like between his hairline and like how physically mature he looks. Like, are we sure he's 18? Like, are we sure he's not like doing a Dominican Republic thing where he's actually older? But I think he looks pretty fucking good. And I did see him a lot myself because he played at Michigan State, a lot of games on Big Ten Network. So when I was trying to watch like Renzel and Moore and Nazar, you know, they played Michigan State. It's small. There's only 7 teams in the conference. So I would see Michigan. I'm like, this kid's fucking good. So I'm excited for that. They also have 18. So they're at 20. They made a small trade to move up from 20 to 18. I was told that was the thinking was that it would be easier to move from up from 18 to 12, where they have a guy that they really want, than going from 20 to 12. So we'll see if that actually manifests itself. But I was talking to a guy from another Western Conference, Hockey Ops, who I've become like friends with, that he says that this is going to be the most wild transaction week in like the history of the NHL.
For what reason?
So he said it was a few things. So you have like goalies that are on the move. We've already seen the Ullmark trade. Mm-hmm. Then you have the cap went up $5 million. It's the biggest jump in 10 years. And it's going to $93 million next year, according to Elliot Friedman, and maybe $100 million the following year. So it's going up. So teams feel like financially flexible. And then he also said that there's this group of teams that have been rebuilding for a while. The Ottawas, the Buffaloes, Detroits, LA has already made a pretty big move. And then you have other teams that are trying to hang on. Pittsburgh,
Boston,
Washington. They're all trying to like, you know, so they have a lot of teams just trying to like get their shit together for one reason or another. Mm-hmm. And so between that and the financial flexibility that teams have, that he says the quote was, the league's going to be turned upside down. Like, it's going to be a fucking wild week. And we've already seen a bunch of moves, and it's like every single, and it is like the quote unquote, the silly season. The Hawks are linked to like everybody because they have so much cap space. Mm-hmm. They have so much draft capital. The thinking is a lot of people want to play with Bedard, and I really hope, like, I got an email from like a season ticket rep today being like, hey, we got the number 2 pick and wondering if you were interested in these 4 like premium seats. I'm like, well, let's see how this week goes, because it's time to like, I can't have another team that is just so fucking pathetic to watch. Even with Bedard, they were pathetic. So I hope they've been linked to Gensel as a big free agent. I'm starting to think that that's not going to happen. Even though I have had people in that organization tell me that they were they didn't say Gensel specifically, and this was probably a month ago I had this conversation, that they're like, we're going to sign like a top line winger for Bedard. And there's only a couple available. It's only Stamkos, Gensel, and Reinhart with Florida. So I don't know if they're going to be able to get that done. They've been linked to a couple former Blackhawks, none of which are named Patrick Kane, but Teuvo Teravainen, Turbo, mm-hmm. my old boy, mm-hmm. Turbo, he's a free agent with Carolina. They don't have a ton of money, so he could come back. I've seen Brandon Saad. Can you imagine what a third term of Brandon Saad would be? That would be tough to stomach, but I guess the Blues are trying to retool, and you might be able to like, hey, we'll take the last 2 years of Brandon Saad. I think he makes $4.5 million, and like they'll throw in a 3rd round pick just to get him off their books, kind of thing. So like that could happen. And they like, it is a very important, I would say it's the most important week they've had for building a team since like the summer of 15, which they completely botched and ruined the next decade. So I'm Elliot Friedman notifications are on. I'm just waiting for everything to come. And I think everybody's getting to Vegas probably tomorrow or today. I think they get there today. And I think once they've got all the GMs and everybody's in the same place, I think dominoes are going to really start falling.
Which gets you the most excited?
What potential name?
Yeah.
I really like Nikolai Ehlers. Mm-hmm. So he's a 28 or 29-year-old forward from the Jets. The Jets are trying to stay relevant. There was a rumor that was out there. I don't know how real it is, but it was Connor Murphy, Lucas Reichel, and the 18th pick for Nikolai Ehlers and this other prospect who has announced that he's not going to sign with the Jets because he wants to like guaranteed to play right away. And like he was Frank Nazar's line mate. This guy, Rutger McGroarty, American kid, who was captain of Team USA in the World Juniors that just won gold. He doesn't skate. He's not the best skater, so I don't know if Kyle would go for that. but I fucking love him. Like he's a rat. He's like probably 6'1", 6'2", 200, plays heavy, mean, talks like there's this clip of him. He destroyed Sweden and like decapitated this guy. Then he got sent to the box, and I think the World Juniors were in Sweden, and he just goes to the box and he just starts talking mad shit to the crowd and like egging them on.
Credit to him.
What's this guy's name? Rutger
McGroarty.
He had a lot to overcome with that name.
Rutger or McGroarty? Both. Yeah, it's tough.
To be a tough guy?
It sounds like when you say his last name, it sounds like you got rocks in your mouth.
Going off at 500-1 for him to be a tough guy.
McGroarty. Yeah. I don't know. Rutger? Rutger sounds like
but it's like it's a sweater over the shoulder.
I would love to hear like a guy with a good Irish accent say his name. Rutger McGroarty.
Shout out to Rutger.
Yeah. So I would like that. I would get excited about that. The other big name, another guy from Carolina, Martin Necas. And Necas he's a guy who, when you watch him, again, he's probably 6'1", 190, one of the fastest skaters in the league, so skilled, so dynamic. And then you're like, why isn't he better? Like there's like something, like
I don't like those guys.
I typically don't like those guys either, and I don't even necessarily think it's like a lack of effort thing, but it's just like, why aren't you scoring 40 goals a year?
Yeah,
and maybe it's a system fit because Carolina plays kind of a funky defensive man-to-man system, which maybe that's part of. I don't know, but it's just he's a restricted free agent, so they could, So basically, you're looking at 3 guys from Carolina because. You got Necas, Gensel, and then Teravainen. They could get 1 or maybe 2 of those guys, and it's starting to build a genuine team. Like I don't think it's impossible. I also don't think a Seth Jones trade is impossible either, because like that everyone's like, oh, he makes 9.5, he makes 9.5, he signed for 6 more years, but if cap's going to 88 and then 93, then that 9.5. In a year will feel more like 6 in today's day and age. So it's like it's not right. It's not like that crazy to be able to move that contract.
Going back to the draft real quick.
Yeah.
Number 2 overall. How percentage points? How confident are you that's going to be one of those 2?
One of those of Levshov or Demidov?
Yeah,
100.
Okay, so there's not like a Leo Carlson sneaks in there.
I don't think so. The only other guy that I would potentially put in that category would be the other Russian defenseman who's like a Chara. He's like 6'7", good skater, big shot, more of a defensive defenseman. Saliev. But I don't think so. I would say 99.9. Like Leo Carlson was a very good, highly touted, stepped right into the league and was good. Another name the Hawks are linked with is they're linked with everyone. Trevor Zegras. You know that guy who's the guy who does like the Michigan, he'll like flip it over the net to his teammate for like an alley-oop, like knock in it midair. He's kind of a fucking pussy, so I don't really want him. Like that's the thing with this team building now, because they are in the building phase, and everything's about speed, and speed is great. But if you watch a Stanley Cup final, the 2 team, I mean McDavid obviously is fast, but like the team that won, you got Ekblad's a big boy. You got Kachuk's a big boy. Barkov is huge. Sam Bennett is big and mean and nasty. Verhaeghe had some bite to him. And then the year before, Vegas, same thing. Like you need some guys who will go out and win those playoff wars and not get pushed around when they stop calling holding and hooking and cross-checking everything like they do in the playoffs. So I hope that this is the summer where they start taking a step forward, but also kind of rounding out a roster that can win in the playoffs. So we'll see what Davidson's actual philosophy is for building a team in a real way for this week. And if he just keeps adding like, that's like the Necas thing. Like Necas is like, he's awesome, but he's
a bitch.
And he has never really performed in the playoffs. Carolina's been in the playoffs, 10 years in a row. He's never really done anything in the playoffs. And
it's a shame we didn't trade up for Michkov last year, huh?
He's coming over.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I remember everyone was like, oh, it's going to be years and years and years.
Yeah. I mean, his dad died, and I think I think the Russian Federation were like, we're doing this out of like the goodness of our heart, because they like released him early from his contract.
Because remember that the Hawks were like, remember to trade up to 7? I remember sitting there at the National Bar and being like, holy shit.
Supposedly Michkov met with the Flyers before the last draft and was like, I want to play for you. If you draft me, I will figure out a way
really
to get here.
Huh.
So, and that is not for the Demidov crowd. That is not as big of a concern for Demidov. So supposedly he's got 1 year left in Russia, and then he'll be over.
Okay.
So it's not like, oh, well, we're going to have to wait forever. So I don't know. I'm very like nervous and excited, and it's just like I just want to feel good and excited about this team. I don't want the Hawks to drift into like this Bulls territory where everyone is just so fucking apathetic, and I don't know how long they can be bad before you really get to that point.
It's probably getting there now.
It's probably like you're like right there.
Dangerously close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're riding out on this wave, and that's the thing where it's like, you know, when they're linked to Teravainen, I think that could very well happen. And they're like, oh well, you know, we don't want Kane, you know, and it's like they're worried about the culture. Yeah, like, but now, granted, they're not going to have like the presence in the locker room, but like Teravainen, like I remember, you know, because we used to hang around with that team a little bit in 15.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy fucking smoked cigarettes left and right. Like, it's not like he's like some great veteran leader necessarily. He's like a good player and he's somewhat responsible, but he's
this guy being just ripping on someone because he likes to burn a heater while he's out with the fellas.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
Maybe if you're a professional athlete, it's not the best.
Does it affect his performance?
I don't know. Maybe he could be a 100-point guy instead of a 60-point guy. I couldn't tell you, but or an 80-point guy. But yeah, I don't know. I just want the team to be fucking better than they are, and like that's the thing where Teravainen saw like that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's better than Reese Johnson and Taylor Radish and these guys that they've been throwing out there. But like, I'm not gonna get all excited about those fucking guys. Mm-hmm. I want a better level than that. Like, I know what those guys are. They're not taking you where you want to go. So then it's like where you're getting them as to be a little bit better, but really we're waiting even 2 to 3 more years. Like, I don't like.
What's the point?
Start building guys. Start getting guys who will buy into this rebuild and will be here and be important when they're good again.
I agree.
Exciting, but scary couple days.
Nervous.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, because it's like I've liked basically everything that Davidson has done, with the exception of just closing the door on Kane. Mm-hmm. But now it's like real. Like now it's like, all right, you've been here for 2 years. This is your second draft, or your third draft rather, your third off season. You've been with the organization for 11 years. Like it's time, it's time to go. It's time to start proving yourself. And like, you've had plenty of picks and plenty of time. You got all the money in the world and then more as the cap goes up. So let's see how big your balls are and let's see how smart you are and start building this team to actually be a good team.
I love it. I need something to root for.
Something to get through the winter.
On that note, we could kick it over to Bulls talk with Steven Cheah and get to the other team on Madison Street. Also, before we get to Cheah, let's talk. Can you tell me about Vanderhagen safety razors, Chief?
I can. I used I think it was yesterday, so it might not be as clean today. Look at that neckline.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. And that's all from using Vanderhagen Razors. So make that switch from a cartridge razor to a safety razor today with Vanderhagen. Safety razors allow you to get a close, more comfortable shave. No nicks or cuts. I had a little ingrown hair here. Didn't even bust that with the Vanderhagen razor. The best part, these blades cost as little as $1 a piece and last anywhere from 3 to 5 shaves. So you'll save thousands of dollars over the years compared to the cost of a cartridge razor. The blades are ice-tempered, stainless steel blades from Germany. Dave, what did you learn about German engineering over there?
Seeing it compared to United States engineering,
amazing.
Yeah.
So they're sharp enough to give you that perfect shave. The handle is made to last a lifetime, so the only recurring purchase you'll have is for the blades. Check out your local Target and Rite Aid to get yourself a Vanderhagen safety razor today.
Go do it. It's that easy.
Yep.
Hop in that Target.
You can also go to Vanderhagen.com.
Yeah, hop in that Rite Aid. It's that easy. All right, Dave, whoosh us over to Steven Cheah.
Whoosh.
All right, so we're going to slide it over to Steven Cheah. He's in studio with us right now. He has become our NBA correspondent. Steven, last time we had you on, we talked about the NBA playoffs.
Yep.
I watched a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. I think Chief did too.
Yep, more than any time since Rose, probably.
Yeah, so that was like the first time I've really been immersed since, for me at least, the Durant super
Warriors,
team era. Yes, exactly. So welcome in.
Thank you.
Obviously, the Bulls were in the midst of a big trade last week.
Yep.
Traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey. Everyone hates it. Of course, you love it.
I don't love it because, to be contrarian, and I should say, I'll start off with the off the court stuff. Don't know fully about. I know that I think the case was dropped, but obviously the allegations, especially in today's day and age, stick. I'm not going to get into all that. On the court, I think Josh Giddey's a good player. Did he get played off the court in the playoffs? Yes. He doesn't really fit with that team the way they're constructed. He's a guy, 6'8", 215 pounds. He is a giant point guard. He's a point guard. He needs the ball in his hands. He makes plays. He's a really good passer. He is an excellent rebounder. He doesn't have a great outside shot. And with the Thunder, a team that had the MVP runner-up in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a guy that also needs the ball in his hands, he doesn't really fit. Both of those guys need the ball in their hands, and from what I understand, the Thunder management approached him, were like, we think it'd be best if you came off the bench next year, in which case he asked for a trade. This is a guy who was drafted in 2021. He was the 6th overall pick. He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
He'll be 22 when the season starts. He is still scratching the surface of what he can be. Looking at his numbers last year, he averaged 16.5 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. This is a guy who, with the ball in his hands, can be, in my opinion, a lead guard. Now, a lot of lead guards in the NBA aren't great defenders. He's not a great defender. But he does a lot of other things that you like to see. Is he going to be a reliable three-point shooter? He's been a low 30% three-point shooter his whole career, so that's not his bread and butter. But with the ball in his hands, I think he is a good young player.
Everything you just described sounds very similar to Lonzo Ball. Is that, doesn't play D, doesn't shoot, big, good passer.
Yeah.
Can get you some rebounds. The Bulls, when they had Lonzo, and I don't know if that's a fair comparison. You laughed right away, so it sounds like it's crap, not a good, but that.
No, you're right.
Okay, all right. So when this team had Lonzo, it was working.
Mm-hmm.
It was working. They were the number 1 seed in the East. Lonzo gets hurt right around Christmas, and I think they finished 4th in the East, 4th or 5th that year, and got smoked by the Bucks, and then they've been a disaster ever since. So is that kind of the framework that we're hey, we're going to try to replace that type of player and then run back what we had with that group with the other core pieces 3-4 years later?
I hate that you're even asking this.
Why?
Because
isn't that but he says it's
no, I get it, and in their fucking illogical minds it can be, but to think that that's somehow going to equate the loss of Lonzo Ball, a 2 years older DeMar DeRozan, a Vooch who is kind of he's still productive in some ways, but
and
he's
Levine
kind of a load in some ways, and then Levine is disgruntled and hurt. So
right. Yeah,
I hate that that's even sunk in anyone's brain, but it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're going to completely copy that model as far as not make any other moves. I wouldn't really like the team if they didn't make any other moves. To your point, those guys are older. We're not necessarily sure that formula is going to work in the way the East at least is currently constructed. That being said, I think it would be beneficial for this team to be a transition, fast break team, not crazy dissimilar to the Pacers, and I'm not comparing Josh Giddey to Tyrese Halliburton, but in a way, he is going to be best in transition, making plays and being able to get. He's also a guy who can get into the lane and score, and he's 6'8", so he can finish around the hoop.
But could this be a transition period where you run it back with these old guys, and then you have Giddy who's 21, you have Kobe White.
Kobe White is good.
Kobe White's good. So it's we're going to phase that quote unquote core of Levine, who I've kind of always hated. DeMar, who I love, but what is he now? 30 what?
DeMar DeRozan.
Gotta be close to 35.
It's gotta be 34, 35.
Yeah, it's gotta be really close.
He is 34. He turns 35 in August. Okay. So do you just play it out and just kind of hodgepodge something together, but then you're more competitive, and then you just phase those guys out and find other ways to replace the Levine, Vooch, DeMar, core. So then you replace them so you can eventually finish 5th and get smoked in the first round of the playoffs again forever.
Yeah, I mean that's like kind of a big picture take that isn't super far off, but like looking at this trade specifically, Caruso is a good player and he can help a contender. And the reports say that the Knicks are trying to trade for him, and I'm sure that he had several suitors. He's a great perimeter defender and he can shoot, so he's like the prototypical 3-and-D guy. The Bulls don't need that. They're not at the stage where it's like, all right, we need a guy who can be a 3-and-D guy. Josh Giddey is an exciting young prospect who can potentially be a good player. So would it surprise me if we looked up in January and Giddy was averaging like 19 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists? No. And would you take that for Alex Caruso right now in the Bulls?
Yeah, and he's 21.
Yeah, listen, I think it's complicated, right? I think there's
but then there's all the
well, listen, outside of that, he played after all that went through, and he seemed to be cleared. I'm totally taking that out of the equation.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's true, he's done forever.
Correct.
And probably in jail.
Yeah.
Most likely in jail. But there's like a couple factors here. One is that nobody has trust in the Bulls front office. This is the first trade they made in 2 years, which is fucking absurd.
Yeah.
So nobody has faith in the Bulls front office. But with that being like so battered in Bulls fans' brains, that's why I think they're so upset. And with the fact that there was no first round pick attached, because the Thunder, like, they trip out of bed and they have a first round pick. They have so many picks.
Yeah.
So I understand that thought process, but I'm kind of with you. Like, I'm like, let's see it. We're not going to have Caruso in a useful spot that we need him for. Why not take a flyer on a 21-year-old that people seem to be quitting on because he didn't look good in the playoffs?
If you rewind this trade 1 year and Giddy's coming off again 16.5 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, and he's 20 years old, about to be 21, and you trade him for Alex Caruso, Bulls fans are dancing in the streets.
Yeah.
Like, this is the greatest trade they've ever made.
Yeah.
And obviously off the court, some things have changed that make this situation a little bit murky, but on the court, he's still the same guy. He's never been a good shooter, but he can get in the lane, he can pass, he can rebound. He is, if the Bulls aren't going to be good, which I don't think anyone expects them to win the East or win the title, at least be exciting, and I think this makes them way more exciting.
You have talked me into this trade. And I saw a lot of people, because it was leaked, that somebody offered the Bulls a first-round pick at the deadline for Caruso. And people were like, oh, what
There's a report they got offered the 13th pick for him like this week.
Yeah,
in this draft,
which is considered one of the worst drafts ever. So wouldn't you rather have a 21-year-old Giddy who can at least play in the league? He might not end up being the star doing what you're saying, 19, 8, and 7. But is that better than what they would have got at 11 and 13?
No, Josh Giddey's better than a top 10 pick in this draft, in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there is going to be a top 10 pick in this draft that is going to be better than Josh Giddey.
Sure.
But the odds of getting that with, whatever it is, the 13th pick or wherever they would have gotten, I would rather have Josh Giddey. He's still really young.
Yeah,
he's proven he can be a good player in this league.
Yeah.
Does he need to improve his shot? Yes. But there's, what guy are you getting at 13 or 10 that doesn't have a couple warts?
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, you can draft guys at 13 and 10 that sometimes they just never even play really in the league.
Yeah.
So...
yeah. It's just, there's a lot of factors why Bulls fans are just so battered.
But I think people love Caruso too. I think that's part of...
Yeah, but if you can't put aside that Caruso is a 30-year-old guy who is an awesome role player and a great fit on a playoff team who needs him, like then you're just like overly hating, I think.
I think
right?
Bulls fans should be happy that they didn't give up a pick in this. Not saying that like he's worth like, we just saw the Mikal Bridges trade come down. It's 5 first-round picks and a pick swap and all that stuff. But Bulls fans got younger, more exciting, better numbers. They give up a championship level role player, but they get an exciting young prospect. This is a great deal for Chicago.
I also think
it's also a great deal for the Thunder too, who benefit from this too. It's a better fit for them.
He's a great fit for the Thunder. Yeah.
I also think you need to find whatever you can do to ship Levine out, because I do worry about
but like
having a guy
how can
like
he
Giddy
have
with
any value at this point?
I don't know.
I mean, the Bulls right now, the way they're constructed, are a very small team. Giddy is a jumbo point guard, but like Kobe White's small.
DeMar's
Zach
probably
LaVine
the
is small.
4.
DeMar DeRozan, he played some 4 last year, but he is like super tiny. Vooch for a center is like a big plotting guy, but he's not like, he's not the biggest rim protector. Yeah, so they certainly have their issues, but I think the Giddy trade is a good
Bulls trending right towards the middle, right where Jerry wants them to be.
one piece at a time.
Yeah. I guess. But you know what I mean? You get that.
You could talk me into being excited about a backcourt of Giddy and
Kobe White. That could be something.
That is an exciting backcourt.
Yeah, it's something to build around.
I agree with you, but when you pair that with LaVine, who you look around some guys who have played with him, and they just completely went on a downward spiral, like marketing.
Yep.
Like I just don't want Giddy
That's
to
true too.
fall into this.
How much do you think of
shit.
marketing here was LaVine versus the coaching staff?
I mean, it's twofold. Boylan was a dummy.
Boylan
like,
was
no doubt about it. You had him off the bench, like he just looked miserable. Like everyone on that team looked uninspired.
Yeah, he's an all-star.
But yeah, I mean,
Bulls are a fucking joke.
I know.
Bold prediction: by Christmas Day, Josh Giddey will have 3 triple doubles.
Okay, all right, I like that. So you said that you would be disappointed if they didn't make any other moves. What else do you think that they can even do with, like, do any of those core pieces? We mentioned LaVine. Anybody have any value at all that they can get something for?
Yeah. I mean, Zach LaVine, they can certainly get something for. Like, I think the best thing the Bulls could do is get younger. This is a move that gets them younger. If they can get younger with LaVine and even DeRozan, if they can get younger with those pieces, like, again, they're not trying to be a championship contender, but if you can blow up like DeMar DeRozan is the reigning clutch player of the year, right?
Yeah.
So like he certainly has value in the league. He's a scorer. He can pass. He can rebound. He is a player that could go to a winning team and they could see value in that. Can you blow that up and get younger? Certainly, like you're not going to be good, but again, the move here is not to be good, it's to get pieces.
Yeah.
They got a piece.
I'm so over Vooch, and obviously, like I just said, I'm over LaVine too. But going with that backcourt, Giddy, Kobe White, you throw DeMar at the 3, Patrick Williams at the 4, and Vooch at the 5. Like, I guess I would be interested.
Yeah.
Like, I would be interested.
Is Patrick Williams still trying to get a $200-something million contract, or is that?
I'd like it if he could play more than 40 games. Let's start there.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's a bad time.
It feels
this
like
this is a good trade. You should be excited about this.
Yeah.
But so many, like all Bulls fans are like not excited. But everyone hates it.
That's okay. Let's wait till by Thanksgiving you'll be excited about this.
I think it's so much more like we just hate this team that they could go walk outside and be like, sky's blue, and be like, fuck you, no it's not. Like that's how it feels with the
no
vibe.
one likes Jerry. People have turned on AK.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, they didn't make a trade for 2 years.
But
watch the Josh Giddey highlight tape. This guy is super exciting.
Yeah, but everyone's going to point to, he got fucking stifled in the playoffs. He was a liability. They pulled him out.
Yeah. I mean, if you're on that team, if you're a guy who needs the ball in your hands and you're playing with the MVP runner-up and one of the 5 or 6 best players in the world, and he needs the ball in his hands, and your job is to just space the floor and shoot, and you're not a good shooter, you're set up to fail. So he was never going to do well in that role.
And you're 21, you're playing against the best backcourt in the league, in Luka and Kyrie. So it's like, it's tough.
I mean, they were guarding him with the center. Nobody's within 10 feet of him, but just he's not a good shooter. Don't rely on him to shoot threes.
Yeah.
If the Bulls don't sit him out there on an island and have him just shoot threes, he's going to be good.
Well, let's hope he could improve his shot too. How about that?
It has gotten incrementally better every year.
Okay,
that's true.
Yep. So
work on that jumper.
Yep.
All right, the draft. We're speaking now. Obviously, we record on a Wednesday, so this is before the draft. Bulls pick 11. What should we be in for? People, I've seen us in the ED range. I don't know what you think about that.
He's gone up that high. He's a lottery guy now.
Oh yeah, I saw Steven Cheah's mock. He has him going 12 to the Thunder right after us.
I don't hate Zach Giddey.
Dude, neither do I. Dude, just for the sake of like, I need something to. I can't watch this team anymore. Like he helps me watch. Like it'd be interesting.
It's like the easiest comparison for Zach Giddey is like Boban, maybe like a bigger Roy Hibbert. he's not a guy where you look at the modern NBA and you're like, all right, like let's attack this guy in pick and roll. Like maybe like Yao Ming, even like obviously a poor, he's a great player, but a poor man's version of Yao Ming. I mean, he is a good, really, really good offensive player who's 7'5" that you can't teach. He's going to get the other team in foul trouble. But what I really like about him is just like, I mean, we watched the tournament. Like this guy plays 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And he's 7'5". Like he can score. He can get other teams in foul trouble. Like he is a guy who, you're not going to build your franchise around this guy as your center. I think in an ideal world, his best role would be like a backup center on a very good team who can get you points and play 20 minutes a game. But this is a very bad draft, like almost historically bad. Like looking back over the last decade, Anthony Bennett was a first overall pick. Wiggins, who had a really good finals that one year and turned into a fair enough rotation player. There have been some really bad drafts. Michael Carter Williams was the rookie of the year.
People did hype Wiggins to the moon when he was coming out.
Oh yeah, Maple Jordan.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
But this is a very bad draft. We're talking about the top 3 picks are most likely going to be, in any particular order, Zachary Rissache, who's 18 or 19 years old from France, like really long guy, can score. Like, okay, in a normal draft, that guy is taken with the 5th to 8th pick. That's like, well, he's got so many tools. Maybe he can be a developmental prospect. He is the betting favorite right now to go number 1. Alex Sarr is another guy, similar situation. He's like 7 feet tall. He hasn't worked out for the Hawks, so there's like it appears he does not want to go there. Mm-hmm. But he's probably going to be the number 2 pick, but he's in that Rissache range. And then Donovan Clingan, who we've seen 7'2" center, very good defender, but we're talking about the second best center in the national championship game, who I think projects better as a pro just because he is a really, really good defender. He's mobile, and
is the big man back?
You can kind of make him, no, this is just a bad draft. And you can kind of make the case for him, and like Reed Shepherd, who's like a Austin Reeves type guy, is being hyped as like the 3rd or 4th pick. Like this is not a good draft. I am certain there will be an all NBA player from this draft, but like what are the chances of getting like, I don't know, 1 in 30?
Is there any chance that Cody Williams slides to the Bulls? Or certainly.
Okay. I mean, he's Jalen Williams' brother. So first off, you got to look at that and be like, well, Jalen Williams fucking rocks.
He rocks. And I liked him at Colorado. Like he seems like an athlete. He seems like he could step in and be a 3. Yeah. And I don't know. Like that's the only guy.
Skinny.
Yeah, but frame to build on.
Yeah. Yeah. He finishes around the hoop pretty well. Mm-hmm. So he would be a guy certainly I would hope for. Does he get to the Bulls? We'll see. Okay. But I wouldn't mind Edey if I was Chicago. Like obviously you have Vooch, but then you can maybe move off of Vooch. I think he's a really good player.
Does Vooch have any value?
I think certain places in the league, yeah, but like, if you're looking at like advanced NBA analytics, like he is not a great modern day center. That being said, he has range. He can shoot the 3. Yeah. He puts up numbers. He's a good rebounder. He's not a good defender. He's not a good rim protector. So that's not really what you want in today's NBA. But at the same time, like he does have value. He can score the ball. He can post. He can rebound. He can pass.
Bad contract though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you guys just re-signed him last year, right? So
it's like 2 for 44. So it's not like super. The
length is not, I mean, the cap's going up, so it's not crazy.
Yeah. What about Dillingham?
I mean, he's an exciting guy. He reminds me of like a Malik Monk type, just like electric scorer. Like, I don't think you're going to want to depend on this guy to drop, 20, 25 points a game. But if this is a 6-man guy, like coming off the bench, like he looks Gordon. Awesome. His highlight tape is incredible. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, he's an undersized scorer, like microwave bucket type guy. So in this draft, would you take Malik Monk with the 12th pick? I would.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Malik Monk has better size, but
is he gonna fall that far?
I could see him in that area. Yeah. I mean, there's
talk with him at like 4. Williams or him.
I would probably rather Williams just because he has better
who's
size.
More likely to fall to the Bulls?
I think Dillingham. Okay. There's talk about Dillingham at like 4 to San Antonio.
Yeah.
I don't really buy that.
Okay.
But I mean, it seems like San Antonio is going to be drafting like a very undersized guard, so it could be Dillingham.
Okay.
Hey, him being a rotational piece with Kobe White, I mean, I think that's, those are shooting guards.
Yeah.
Super tiny.
Yeah.
Super tiny.
Bucket getters,
just
yeah.
buckets.
Yeah.
I kind of don't hate that.
Just outscore. Be the Pacers. Just try to outscore everybody.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like Euro guys in this draft who have like good size and stuff like that, but like which one of them is going to pan out? Like in all likelihood, most of them will not.
Yeah.
I didn't. I stopped after the Bulls on your mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have Bronny anywhere or no?
I only did the first round, so no, I don't have Bronny.
Okay, so you're confident he doesn't go in the first round?
Pretty confident.
Yeah.
Like he's an undersized guard who's like NBA projection is like Gary Payton II. Like that's not great.
Yeah.
And he also has like heart issues.
Yes, but
I guess the common man's like, Lord, well, you get him, you're gonna get LeBron.
Right,
But
yes.
I don't necessarily think
I
that's
don't even
true.
know if I don't fucking care. I don't want LeBron.
at this point,
No.
Rather
he's
than
still
Zach LaVine.
so good though.
What?
Rather Zach LaVine.
Get rid of both of them.
He's still so good.
Trade Zach LaVine to the Lakers.
He's just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Dillingham going 16 to the Sixers.
Okay.
I wouldn't hate it. He's undersized. He's like super skinny, but he could score.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this draft, one guy that I really like in this draft, Adam Bona, he's from UCLA. He's 6'8", but he's just like, he reminds me of Isaiah Stewart kind of, but like way more bouncy.
Okay.
And he's just like a guy like in the 20s or 30s. Like that's a guy that I think as a basketball fan is like exciting. But
worth taking a flyer on.
yeah, but there's a lot of guys in this draft that have like a ton of potential, but are they going to reach it?
Well, call your shot, because I think everyone kind of agrees with you in that. Of course, now we're saying it's the worst draft of all time, but since everyone's saying that, we're bound to get someone who's all NBA who's awesome. Who's your pick?
What was the draft? Maybe I think it was the Anthony Bennett draft. Giannis was in that. Rudy Gobert was in that. So it's like there's going to be a player, but like where is that player? Who do I think the best player in this draft will be in the next couple of years?
5 years. It's 2029. Who's the best player in this draft?
Cody Williams has a shot. If I had to put a super flyer out, it would be Matas Buzelis. He played with the G League Ignite, foreign guy. I just really love this this quote specifically. Shams put this out yesterday. I respect Zach Risache as a player. He just doesn't want to see me. I'm just going to keep it real with everybody. Like that is the type of energy that like Porzingis had when he came in the league, and just being like, yeah, like I might be like this, foreign dude who you might not know, but like I'm the fucking real deal. Like that's the type of and I am not wildly familiar with him. I think I followed him on Instagram for a couple of years to just see like his highlights, but he is a guy who's like super long, can shoot, can score, that I think has potential to be like the best player. But again, we're taking flyers on at this point.
I don't think you're beholden to anything here, but you're just taking
Unless
shots.
you're right, then we'll clip
Then
it.
for 2029, this would be a great
Or
clip.
if you're
Yeah.
wildly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got him mocked to the Pistons. The Pistons need some good karma, so I feel like
They've like basically said that they're tanking and are willing to take on like bad contracts or future picks. So yeah, if you have a bad contract, send it to Detroit, but you'll probably have to attach picks to it.
yeah. I mean, the hard part is too, like we're sitting here and we're getting excited about this lineup that maybe it wins us the playing game and we get into the 8th seed for the first time, but
Love that.
in reality, like we need the number 1 pick next year because that's the prize.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get Cooper Flag, that'd be great. And we saw this year, like a lot of teams maybe didn't have the worst record, but Atlanta moved up. Brooklyn, whose pick now conveys to Houston, they moved way up. So like, if you're in the lottery with a top 10, top 11, like potentially slotted pick, you could win the lottery. Literally.
Different story, yeah. Any other bowl stuff in your head?
No, I'm excited for Giddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Giddy for Giddy.
What do you thoughts on the Bridges trade? Obviously, you're a Knicks fan. People don't know.
Yeah, I'm writing a blog on it right now. They gave up a ton. Like,
a lot.
It's a lot. Like with that type of compensation, I don't see any reason why you couldn't have gotten Donovan Mitchell. Like, so in that aspect of it, it's like, okay, do you go for the, big name guy who, is an all-star? Mikal Bridges has never been an all-star.
Yeah.
That being said, basketball is about chemistry, and you now have 4 guys who have a ton of chemistry. And there's also the potential. Mikal Bridges on a great contract. They have the chance to re-sign Jalen Brunson this summer for what would be less than the super max.
Yeah.
So do you get these guys on a discount? The Knicks have done a great job acquiring contracts that are good. Do you get these guys essentially on a discount because they are playing together and they don't want to leave this group? I think it is a bet on chemistry and a bet on locking these guys up for the foreseeable future. So you have this core. That being said, unprotected picks in 2029 and 2031 certainly scare me because who knows what the team's going to look like in 7 years. But
I mean, that could end up being like that Pacers Nets KG.
Yeah.
And Pierce, and then they
turns
get
into Jalen Brown.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very scary, man.
Yeah.
I think Mikal Bridges is great. I'm very excited to watch the Knicks with him.
He is, yeah. I like the fit, and I'm excited to watch it. I think it was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And it's probably going to cost them either Hartenstein or Randall, right?
Randall's good. He's under contract, but Hartenstein or OG. OG is going to have a lot of suitors.
OG, though.
You got to, yeah. So I would imagine it keeps them Hartenstein. There are a couple things where if they this deal cannot be completed till league's new year. If they make some other deals, they can free up Hartenstein if they include Jericho Sims in this deal and another guy and another minimum guy. They can potentially get both. So there's some gymnastics to be done, but Leon Rose and co. I'm sure are prepared for that.
But I think they're going to have to flip Randall.
No. Everyone is on a really good contract, and the cap is going up. Randall's on a good I think he's making in the 30s per year,
which is crazy.
Reasonable.
That's a good contract.
Right.
Wild, but
this is 3 times what Connor McDavid makes.
Insane.
Yeah, NBA is big.
Yeah.
NBA is huge.
Yeah.
All right then, Steven, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Where can people find your draft coverage?
BarstoolSports.com.
Yeah.
On personal socials at Steven Cheah, SCEVNCH.
Are you the only NFL and NBA draft analyst on the internet? I feel like you might be. Double dips.
Yes, and I know there's a lot to be sorted out, and I'm not putting the horse before the cart. Whatever turns out to be this dozen draft, I will be mocking that as well.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So drafts all around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steven.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Steven.
All right. Thank you to Steven Cheah. We want to tell you guys about a big event coming up here in Chicago. It's the NASCAR Street Race. But before the NASCAR Street Race is the Nashville race that's this weekend. The NASCAR Salutes, it concludes this weekend. The entire racing community rallies around NASCAR Salutes to show appreciation and gratitude to veterans and active brave men and women who fight to protect this country. NASCAR will be hosting troops from Fort Campbell at the race. Tune in on June 30th, this Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. We'll be there.
Yep. Can't wait.
Excited.
Yep. So this is going to be it's an oval track, and this will be my first oval track.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. And then you get the street course the next week with Chicago.
Yeah, we're back-to-back race NASCAR guys, so we're excited for it.
I got to get one of those jackets. Those jackets are sweet.
They're the best, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very cool.
NASCAR merch in general is awesome. And it's an awesome event to just check out for the first time if you've never been. So if you're in NASCAR, go do that. If not, check it out on TV before you buy tickets to the Chicago Street Race. One more time, don't miss NASCAR in Music City. Tune in on Sunday, June 30th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC to watch the stars of NASCAR at Nashville Super Speedway. Dave, can you also tell me about Stella Blue Coffee's new cold brew flavors?
I had one.
What would you like to know about it, Ed?
What are they called, David?
They are called cinnamon sugar donut
And
Blueberry muffin.
Blueberry
baby.
muffin.
Blueberry muffin, baby.
Blueberry muffin. I have not tried either yet. But
Blueberry
I've tried
muffin
the original
is a
cold
winner.
brew, and it's fantastic. Stella Blue is the only coffee I drink.
Well, I've told you about my old trick for the fall, right?
What's that?
Is that I mix a little cinnamon grounds in with the coffee grounds at home.
Nutmeg, yeah.
Now they save me a step, and it's cold brew, so it's perfect for the summer.
Paige poured me a little cup of both. There was a little
Pacers?
trickle left of both. Both really good.
Yeah.
the Stella Blue Coffee cold brew is far and away my favorite part of the whole catalog.
Yeah.
So visit StellaBlueCoffee.com to grab your limited edition bags of blueberry muffin and cinnamon sugar donut flavor cold brew today. Use promo code MID for 20% off any order of $25 or more on StellaBlueCoffee.com. One more time, cannot recommend that cold brew enough. It really is great stuff. So go do that. StellaBlueCoffee.com. All right. We're trying to get a hold of Clem here. Maybe we'll do some baseball talk, then we'll end with some Drake cakes. That work for you boys?
Yeah,
Fine with
that
me,
was
yeah.
All right, let's do it. The Cubs is the same old shit.
One thing's different. It's nice to see that Kyle Hendricks is,
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
That's been like a nice welcome surprise, but
he has the same fate as everyone else.
we talked a little bit about like fatigue and just apathy. I'm starting to get apathetic for this team.
It's a rerun. Every game's a rerun.
Yeah, like I saw Sylvie saying, like they're not worth staying up for on the West Coast. They're not.
No,
like stay up and watch the Giants.
Dude. No
to blow
way.
another fucking lead to get shitty. It's not.
I do check the box score when I wake up.
Yeah.
And it's like I wish that like there was a way where if like you could predict the outcome like in the score that you get like a prize because it's like before you check your phone like what happened to the Cubs. I'm like, well, they were probably up 3-2 in the 7th and then found a way to lose it.
Yeah.
So
Their pitching has been dog shit.
starting pitching has been great.
I mean, as a whole, yeah, starting pitching has
Starter's
been good.
been really
Yeah,
good.
it's been good.
Shota got fucking shelled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was there
whatever.
for that.
Yeah.
The mush continues.
What's your record on games this year?
I don't think that's a fair standard to hold me to.
What is it?
I think it's like 2-7. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. It's bad.
They won the game that
Yeah,
I was at.
that was one of the wins. I had that one, and then I went. I had a win in April. But even in April, when they were pretty good, I think I was like 1-3.
Opening day, we went.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah, so maybe I'm 3-8 or 3-6.
And then I went to the Otani game with you that loss.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
that's bad.
I've been saying this like ad nauseum. People are probably sick of it, but we have to hold ownership in this city.
two teams with the most blown saves in baseball: White Sox #1, Cubs are #2. Yeah,
One team.
Pathetic.
yeah.
One team is supposed to be awesome. The other said they were going to be awesome and lied to the fan base's face.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else. It's a sad state of affairs how bad Chicago baseball is this summer. Nobody looks forward to it.
Yeah.
Nobody looks forward to it.
It's almost
and
like
it honestly
having
pissed
lack
me
of
off.
sports is probably like the worst thing about summer.
I understand Shohei Ohtani is playing on the south side of Chicago right now, but there were way too many people last night at that stadium.
I think it was almost sold out, right?
It was fucking tickets in the upper deck were crazy. I had friends text me like, why are upper deck tickets like $100? I feel I'm getting to a point where I'm like,
Good for Jared.
stop giving. And I wonder how profitable this season and next season, the year after that, is going to really be for him. Because they're going to gut payroll even more. They're going to gut it even more. I mean, they're going to buy out Eloy. Minkata's gonzo. Like, all these guys are gone. So I assume he's just going into his death, like, just caking it right now. And I don't understand why people go and let him get away with that. It's gotten so bad. They're unwatchable. I mean, you got all these Crochet and Robert rumors flying around. Garrett Crochet is absolutely one of the best pitchers in baseball right now, and you're looking
Stud.
rating him. He's a fucking stud.
Well, he's got to be 32, right? No, he's a guy that they just drafted that they should
Yes.
be able to. They
Yes.
would want to build. What is he? 25?
No, he's a little 26, 27 probably, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's a young arm.
Right.
I mean, he's at like 90 innings pitch right now, 90 whatever.
Yeah.
They still lead the
And-
league in strikeouts.
He
was
second in strikeouts.
was for a
He's
while.
like third in ERA, like
Yeah.
first in WHIP. But like, I watch him pitch, and that's a guy that has absolutely nothing going on in his head other than get the ball and throw the ball, and nobody can touch him.
Yep.
What flipped for him? Like just maturity, a couple years in the league, or
I don't really think so. I think it was just getting the opportunity to start. And granted, a guy like him, because he didn't even pitch a lot in college.
But I think that was it though, wasn't it? Like he like pled to the front. He's like, I want to be a starter.
Yes.
He it obviously is some maturity. So I'm like, hey, it's my time. I want to be a fucking guy.
Yeah, and hats off to Getz. That's like one thing I do like that Getz has done is he let him run with that role, and not only that, named an opening day starter, which I thought was pretty cool. In spite of like he was either hurt or in the bullpen or being misused, but that like I watch him pitch and. That is exactly how, like, I truly think it could be Game 7 of the World Series. He'd have the exact same stoic, dumb hillbilly from Tennessee, like, brain going on, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Is he rumored to be getting, like a Chris Sale kind of haul?
It's weird because you think he would, but no, he's just in the unknown. He only threw,
just
like,
not proven enough?
50 innings in college,
right.
And then, like, 70 innings
in college, too, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was one of those late, like, all of a sudden he's throwing 100.
Yeah.
But like this isn't a Chris Sale guy or even Sale. Like Sale was a workworse for a long time.
Yeah.
He had injuries here and there, but and especially
he really
the last couple years,
hurt until you got to Boston though.
Hurt, right? Yeah, he would have like, but he was good for 170 plus a year.
Yeah.
Typically, even some years well into the 200s. From what I recall, but you look at Garrett Crochet and people assign him Randy Johnson, Chris Sale because he's just tall. That dude's a fucking horse.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
He's thick.
Yeah.
He's got tree trunk thighs, and that's a guy that can just go out there. Like Paul Skeens is going to be similar, I think.
Yeah.
Justin Verlander. Mm-hmm. I mean, the arms are weird things. His UCL could snap tomorrow and egg on my face. But like watching him on the mound and how he carries himself and comparing and contrasting him to other pitchers, that is exactly the type of pitcher you want anchoring your rotation on a not just like wild card team play. That's a World Series caliber pitcher. I truly think so. And they're fucking talking about trading him for a bunch of unknowns. And it like how like he should be talked about getting extended right now.
Yeah.
Robert's already extended. You have him for fucking nothing. Yeah, he's been hurt. He's got some unknowns, clouding him too, but like
But
they're the worst team in baseball, by far the worst team in baseball. They can't pick higher than 10th next year.
They're picking 5th this year, right?
5th this year. They'll get a good player this year, but I mean, it's obviously a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I mean, Vaughn was.
It feels
a
like
bust.
it's the
Magical's
biggest
a bust.
crapshoot.
It's a huge crapshoot.
They're a dumpster fire in every sense of the word.
Yeah,
it's just that.
It's very.
Is there anything that they could get like?
Now people
that you'd be like, all right, this was the right.
I don't want to be that guy that just shits on him and moves on to the next segment. Now, if you go and look up and down the roster, which I begrudgingly have been doing with the minor league rosters more and more lately, just to see what Colson Montgomery's doing. Just bored. But the Winston-Salem and Birmingham teams are legit loaded right now.
Okay,
bunch of guys that are popping up that were like. There's a guy, Brooks Baldwin, I believe his name was. I could be, I'm sure White Sox fans will hear this and correct me, but dude in Double-A who's sitting like 350 right now, who was a mid-round pick, like a 10th round pick, that all he does is fucking raked, and it doesn't look like it's too fluky. Obviously, he's not going to be Ichiro at the show, but then Mason Adams, a couple pitchers that like seemingly have brought into the Brian Bannister, the guy we talked about with Getz, school of thought, and their starting rotation, it's like every one of them has sub-2 ERAs and high strikeouts, low walks. It's things are looking good down the road for like, but as a whole, it does. What does it matter if I know the owner's not gonna splurge on good players in free agency, and I don't want to hear about the fucking $75 million signings like Andrew Benintendi. Those aren't good free agents. Those are mid-tier garbage free agents. Mm-hmm. But there's a glint where they might have some homegrown talent in-house where they might be okay in 2 years, but at the same time, like, I don't trust them until I assume they're gonna fuck up until they don't, and that's the only way to do it until ownership changes. I think that's the only way to look at it.
You talk about Kyle Davidson. I mean, Jed Hoyer. You're up too.
Oh, I think he's beyond up. Like Davidson is still like I don't have any issues with him, but it's like it's time to start. Your evaluation,
it's like pivotal moments.
Your evaluation in a real way starts now, and because anyone could have taken Bedard, I do think some of their other picks have been good, but Hoyer, I mean, this is the team you built, and they did. They paid Hap, they got Horner signed, they paid Swanson. Like this is
Bellinger.
Like this is the team this is your team now, and it's
you are responsible for that bullpen.
Correct.
Jed Hoyer, it's you.
Yeah. So I don't know this. We should have a Cubs guy on before the deadline.
Strami blocked me, by the way.
For what?
I think it was because the hacker DM'd him. That's my guess.
I'll text him.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep him blocked.
Let's text him right now. But anyways, I wonder. My gut says that Hoyer still has like a long leash with the org. That's like, I don't know why I feel that.
Theo guy, he was there. Yeah, I would agree with that too. But this is completely inexcusable of the Chicago Cubs. Like I don't think. I think most Cubs fans, I'm saying, would give them like a solid 5-year grace period after the 2016 World Series.
Yeah.
Even though I think that they should have rode that wave, and not by fault of their own. There's obviously players fell off and like
ultimately I think that was probably the right.
Yeah, they probably tore it down correctly, but like
he says what? LOL, not on purpose. Okay.
It's fine. Portnoy had me blocked too. A bunch of people did.
Okay.
But it's inexcusable. Like I remember sitting here in October of last year saying I think the Cubs are going to sign Shohei Ohtani. There's no excuse for them not to have signed Shohei Ohtani. I truly think so. I don't care what the Dodgers gave him. The Dodgers figured it out.
Yeah.
The Chicago Cubs could have absolutely figured that out. And Shohei Ohtani is leading the world in every offensive category.
I do feel like Shohei only wanted to play out there. That's like the...
Yeah, probably, but
that one I don't
was there even an attempt, or was it like Jerry Reinsdorf? Oh, we're not going to go after Ohtani.
Did they kick the tires on Juan Soto?
That's something.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point.
I just
go and get those fucking good players.
Yeah,
like I will never give them the benefit of the doubt for this. The Chicago White Sox, I think that they're a loser organization and that they don't do enough to win and that they don't care about winning as much as their consumer base does. But the Chicago Cubs, I'll say this every episode until the day I die from here on out. They should be the Dodgers of the Midwest. They have baseball Disneyland. They own that entire fucking neighborhood. That's just a goddamn cash cow in every sense of the word. Almost year round now with that stupid fucking ice skating rink and shit.
I like the Wonderland. I did boycott it this past year, but I did enjoy. I think the Wonderland's cool.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, we had a nice day.
Yeah, rock clap with you and spiked.
What?
Why'd you boycott it?
Because they hadn't signed Bellinger yet.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's no excuse for this. They're and that's the other thing. They're in a division with a bunch of mid-market flyover states, and every owner on earth, every team can afford any player. They choose not to.
Yep.
And the Cubs should be using that financial might to bully the Milwaukee Brewers and St. Louis Cardinals and Pittsburgh Pirates of the world. Am I wrong, Clem?
Not wrong. You need rich people to actually act like rich people when they have a baseball team. It's their duty.
Yes.
It's a public service.
Yes.
I am offended when these billionaires are like, the club has to make money. Like, no, it's not. It's a plaything. Like, just treat it as such. Treat it as a plaything and try to win.
Makes me sick.
At this point, it's like Portnoy. Portnoy's like, just don't make me like completely go broke keeping Barstool afloat.
Yeah.
Well, we have to just do our jobs. He's going to do his jobs, and everyone's happy in the end, right?
Except for maybe Nicky Smokes, who has to sell 5,000 T-shirts before he's allowed to come back to the office.
That's so many T-shirts.
It's an insane amount of T-shirts. If they're 20? Let's just say they're $28 a pop.
Go 30, so it's easy, like a nice zero at the end.
All right. Well,
are they sending them like
or 25?
It's $150,000 worth of merch.
Yeah.
I mean, I sincerely hope they're sending him one of the credit card readers. He's not trying to flag down 150.
Yeah,
no, you know what I want? I want him like outside the stadiums with the T-shirts on sticks. Like
you laugh, but he said he's doing that. He's going to post up at the Elbow Room, which is the bar down there, and that's where he's going to try to sell all these.
Now, not to talk shit about the Panthers and their celebration, the Elbow Room. I saw videos of them like spraying champagne and pouring beers out of the cup onto the people. Different scene than Rocket in 2015. Yeah. I'll say that. Like that was like the whole street was packed, And this is they just don't care the way that we do. So no wonder he didn't sell 5,000 shirts.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Smokes will have to sell like 167 shirts a day to do it in a month.
If I put a shirt on sale and I get 167 sales and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's not even that's revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5,000 shirts is a lot of shirts.
It's a lot.
You get desperate though. Like he's like, listen, you get one of these shirts, you show up to Barstool Chicago HQ, I'll take you for a tour. He's gonna have to start getting creative.
He should just who makes the most money on Florida?
On the Panthers?
Yeah.
Probably Barkov makes 10 million.
Yeah, just have Barkov toss him like 20 G's.
Yeah, the Russian has a huge huge need for those shirts.
desire.
Did you speaking of that, did you see RA's clip?
Which one?
Bro.
Oh, was that Barkov he was talking to?
No. It was really the Tchucks. So it was Sean Thornton, who was won the Stanley Cup with the Bruins in 11, now works for the Panthers. Basically said, "Go fuck yourself," and was not joking. Then he went up to Matthew Tkachuk on the ice, trying to say, "What's up?" to Matthew Tkachuk. Waved him away
To RA?
To RA, blown off, and then he goes up to Walt, the dad, who I think they have a previous relationship. He's a Boston guy, whatever. And he was like, "Get the fuck away from me. I'm fucking done with you." And waved him off. It was like a tough clip.
Do we know why?
Thornton said it was about RA was like rooting for the Oilers when they were in Edmonton, like he was partying in the box. But I don't know. I don't know if there's
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Did you see this, Clem?
Yeah, I saw it. It's an unbelievable clip. And RA's kind of just doing like the shoulder shrug the whole time. And like
he was not happy that the clip got posted though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He replied to because it was on Chicklets, and then the main account posted it too. And it's like a supercut of these 3 interactions. And he just replied underneath the Barstool one, "rat post." So I don't think, because like the cameras were rolling trying to get RA with.
I thought you were talking about when his voice was completely gone and he was interviewing someone on the ice, and Portnoy quote tweeted it like, "Oh, this is journalism or something."
No.
Yeah, and apparently I think he got booted from the locker room after they won too. And I see both sides of it. I see RA's.
I think it's a bad look for both sides.
Yeah, because like RA is such a lovable dude. Like, how could you truly be mad at that guy? And I don't think RA has had like a grudge against the Panthers all season. Like, if you don't get caught up in the magic of the Oilers, Canada, tits are flying out. It was the magic of tits, and obviously like his guys are all rooting for Witt's former Oiler and stuff like that. But at the same time, like if you're the Panthers and it's especially like an 0-3 deficit, and you could lose the cup 4-3 and just all that comes with it, you're probably just like, it's us against the world. So I understand that. And hopefully cooler heads prevail in the future, because I love RA and I hate seeing it. It is an hilarious clip though. It's a hilarious clip.
Yeah, it was like, ooh. But like Biz played both sides somehow like perfectly. Like when he was in Florida, he's rooting for Florida. When he was at Edmonton, he's going crazy for Edmonton. And then everyone, but that same standard was not applied to Biz for some reason.
And I also say, like, as a fan of a team, if you talk shit and then you want to come party with us, I would pray my team would be the same thing.
Totally.
Like Stephen A. Smith was shitting all over the Brunson sign, he shit over everything, and then he comes walking around. It's like, you don't get to come here for the good times if you're not with us during the bad times. There's people here at Barstool that might be in the same boat that kind of shit on some of their teams. You can't just be like all grins and happiness.
You're talking to a guy that has burned bridges with the team, with the Blackhawks. Now, the hockey ops side and the players, I don't have any issue. No, we have no issues, but like the management side is not a fan of me.
So Clem, welcome in. We brought you in. We are launching a new snack show. That's our celebratory thing after Team Ziti won the title. I believe it's launching Monday, so look out for that on social media. And you sent us some Drake's cakes, which is very nice of you. We don't have those in the Midwest, so we're excited to kind of try them out and review them a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's funny how, like, I had no idea this is just how life works or business works, is that you grow up thinking that the stuff in your area is available nationwide. And I don't think it's even a New York thing. It's just like Drake's is one of those things that they have such a presence, and it was on Seinfeld. It has such a presence just in the local area. They're so good too. Parvel was one of those things I thought was nationwide. You'd see the commercials and you realize like they're very spotty. I think Friendlies you guys don't have out there, right? You guys never
we don't.
Friendlies?
But for some reason I've definitely had Carvel, and I almost died at a Friendlies.
That's a story in itself.
I was like 7 or 8, and I had to be given the Heimlich maneuver because I had a mozzarella stick go down too far.
Yeah, they
that'll
were good
happen
sticks,
with mod
though.
sticks.
Yeah. I
keep
still get
those
nervous
things-
eating mozzarella sticks. I'm very careful with them.
Is that why you don't eat junk food? Because you almost got killed by a fried piece of mozzarella?
No, brother, I love cheese. I fucking love cheese.
So
Show the camera.
I had to share it with you guys. Sent them out to Ed, and I was thinking maybe you guys could kind of we'll try a little bit of each, and maybe rank like 1 through 5 of them.
yeah, there's 5 of them. Yeah, I think a good ranking. I think starting with the pound cake sounds correct.
How many different varieties are there?
What do you mean?
How many Drake cakes are
There's
there?
5 different things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've never had these pound cakes. This is the odd thing about it. I just bought the sampler pack I found on Amazon, sent it to Eddie, and this was one that maybe just save one for next time in Chicago. I'll dabble,
I got you. Lance?
I've never eaten. Okay, one note about this this tasting. This what is it? A flight? This is the Drake's flight. If we want to get fancy with it, right? They call it a flight.
Yeah.
A snack cake flight we're having. They did not have Yankee Doodles available. That was actually a dozen question, which I didn't get because I haven't seen Yankee Doodles in years. I don't know if they still make them, but they didn't have them available on Amazon, which tells me something there. So I didn't want to send you guys like a 2-year-old Yankee Doodles. So they are not in the mix, but we do have 5, which I consider the big 4 of Drake's cakes, and then the pound cake, which I've never had.
I'm not sure if I've ever had any sort of pound cake, but I like the idea that the name comes from it has a pound of butter in it.
It's nothing but butter.
All right, I gotta say, bite 1, delicious.
Very moist. Pretty good, Clem.
It's so moist. I love them.
Yep, this is good. That's a winner.
Perfect for early morning and
Yep,
coffee.
They have good preservatives at Drake's. I'll tell you, they keep those things nice and moist.
Yeah, mix that with a little Stella Blue.
It's a good pound cake. It's
Yes.
a little thin. It's a little thin. I didn't see that. Usually pound cake's a little more. I don't hate that.
Pound cake's the round one, right? Are they round?
I think it just doesn't really matter.
A pound
Usually
cake's
it's like
a loaf.
It's like a loaf of bread. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
Oh.
Dave.
What am I thinking of?
got-
What's the round cake?
A round cake.
It's got a hole in the middle.
Bunt. That's a bunt cake.
Okay, all right. That's what I was thinking.
Now we have Funny Bones. It's a frosted peanut butter cream filled devil's food cake. This looks like it's right up White Sox Dave's.
That's
alley.
right. up my White Sox Dave.
I feel like I'm not going to enjoy this one.
What did you think, Lance, of the pound cake?
Dude, that was really good. Yeah, I mean, like moisture and like it goes down. Dave's right. Mixed perfect with coffee.
Kind of to your
Blue right now.
point, Clem. There's no reason why this shouldn't be national.
Yeah, no, none at all. None at all.
I was trying to get on that. And look, it's a good, strong logo. The Drake
You wanna
Goose,
split that
it's a
one?
strong logo.
Yeah, definitely.
I tried to get on them, tried to maybe get a sponsorship or some sort of a shadow, just get some stuff mailed to us, and they just ghosted. So I don't know what their presence is online. But I mean, I don't even know how to get into the game, but I'll get into the snack cake game if I can like franchise it and get it east of I don't even know.
I've got high hopes for this one.
This wouldn't be a Danny Conrad because I know he doesn't like peanut butter and chocolate.
He's allergic to peanuts.
Really?
I think so.
No, he's not.
He said he doesn't like Reese's.
Yeah, I don't think he's allergic. I think he just doesn't like it.
I made that up.
He does strike me as one of those guys that's just allergic
Yeah,
to everything.
I can see that.
Needs a
All right.
bubble boy though. It's excellent. Also, need some coffee. Dan, Lance, can you go get me like a gallon of coffee?
I think that this is. I'd rank this significantly behind the pound cake.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the pound cake right now.
Yeah.
I actually think I would take the pound cake too.
Yeah,
and it's
same.
not because
Wow.
I dislike this, it's because I really like the pound cake.
I also have like that the Reese's, the gunshot sticking to the paper. So with this, so that's a negative point.
The gunshot's taking off, Clem.
Yeah, I
The
like
gunshot's
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I like-
Chicago violent motherfuckers love talking gunshots with snack. Now, this is what I was saying, guys. We're amongst friends. Take those teeth, scrape the bottom of that white
That paper?
cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
and eat it up. I have to say this is only the case, especially with the funny bone. I believe it says it on the box set. I could be wrong. Best, like you want to go another level, you put this one in the freezer. It adds a level of thickness to it and a little extra, defense against the teeth. And I think it's the perfect form. So funny bones in the freezer. Maybe we'll keep them in there, and you guys can try that out tomorrow or something.
I could see that. We got ring dings next.
Okay, so I feel like I've heard of ring dings before.
It's like the ding dong. For
Yeah, that's what you're thinking of, I think.
What am I thinking of?
The ding dong?
What's a ding dong?
Isn't that like a ho ho?
Similar?
literally
Yeah.
this. It's
Okay. All right.
Frosted cream doubles food.
Okay.
This is Boston cream. Now, I typically
I'm anti-cream.
Boston cream.
You love it?
Okay.
Loathe.
Yeah, I'm anti-stuffed donuts or filled donuts.
I like jelly donuts.
Yeah, but there's a
I'll eat
difference
jelly
between
donuts.
custard and this.
Good custard's different than this. Yes.
What
this
is
like-
custard?
I think it's just butter and sugar.
So,
Like a little lemon zest
For
or
some
something.
reason, I feel like it's like another word for ice cream, but then it's not frozen.
So, boys, I'm going to be honest with you. We got the next. I think the 3 remaining are all cream. They're all cream based, but they're all different in their own special way.
I'm gonna try them.
But Dave, you said you don't like cream.
I don't like preserved cream. If it's a good custard, then sure, yeah. But
I
like
was
if
out in
it's-
Chicago last week, and you kept telling how much you love cream pies. You love giving,
Yeah.
you love giving cream pies and what getting them. Like I don't know
We're
what's
talking
going on.
about, other.
All right,
Oh,
another gunshot wound.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not for me at all.
Wow.
Pound cake number 1.
Throwing the ring ding out the window.
Yeah, I never need to have that again. It's not like the worst thing I've ever had. Obviously, it's like a sweet treat, but
I got pound cake 1, funny bone 2, ring ding 3rd.
Okay.
I actually will go 1, 3, 2.
I also feel like that it's not dry, but it's like I'm having a hard time swallowing all of it for some reason. Like you need like a milk
it's
or
weird.
a water to wash it down.
This one is not cream filled. There's 2 left.
All right, I know I'm gonna love this.
Coffee cakes?
I think I'll like this one as well.
Yeah.
Now this is the Drake's coffee cakes. Drake's cakes, I believe, from Seinfeld. That was like
Okay.
the episode.
Everyone loves the Drake.
So we're missing one of the signature Drake items here. I didn't realize that, Ed.
What are we missing?
Well, what's the last one? Is the last one Devil Dog?
Yeah.
Yes, last one's Devil Dog.
So we're missing Yodels, which I believe
Yodel.
are.
Okay, I think I've had a Yodel. It has like the squirrely line on the chocolate. Scribbly
There, it's
line.
like a tube. It's like a tube shape,
That's,
kind of.
That's the ho-ho. That's what we would, a ho-ho.
I'm thinking of like a cupcake thing that has like a white
Oh, no, I don't-
frosting and like a squiggly line. Like it almost looks like cursive writing.
That's the Hostess cupcake you're talking about.
Okay.
It has the shark eats the bitch in the pool and stuff like that. The ho ho is that is the Yodel of whatever is that Hostess. I don't know. So it's basically ding dongs or ring dings, ho hos or Yodels.
Clem,
Drake's the coffee cake. Leave it to me, boys.
Clem, we got a new number 1.
Wow, we got it.
Coffee cake, pound cake. Like I would eat. I can never buy these because I would not be able. It almost has like an angel food cake kind of consistency with that coffee cake crumble.
A little bit, yeah, and it's got the that cinnamon crumble on it. I'll go coffee cake 1, this 2.
That is coffee cake.
There's
Pound cake.
Coffee cake.
Pound cake.
Or
one?
pound cake 1, coffee cake 2, the ring ding 3, and then the chocolate peanut butter 4.
Funny bone for. Okay,
I think this is kind of dry.
It is a little bit dry.
it can be dry.
Coffee cake usually is, I feel like.
Yeah, you need a water, a
Yeah.
coffee, or a milk.
Yeah,
with this,
you need
but
something with it. For
I'm
sure.
going pound cake 1, funny bone 2, ring ding 3, coffee cake 4.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably go pound cake 1, coffee cake 2. Then I would go the one with the peanut butter. I can't remember the name. Then I'd go the ring ding, the funny bone. Yeah, the funny bone was good. I put that above the ring ding.
And the last, I saved this for last because this was an Artie Lang special.
I remember this as a dozen question at one point.
Devil Dogs.
Yeah.
You'd have a Devil Dogs and Hawaiian Punch for breakfast.
Oh,
That's
sir.
a great combo.
That's the worst thing Artie Lang has ever put in his body. Some people would say. Devil Dog so the dozen question was this chocolate like cream sandwich. It's like cream and chocolate sandwich.
This is not what I was
And I said the Yodel because it is kind of sandwiched in there, but this is an actual sandwich.
I feel
They
like we
use
might
sandwich
have been
as a
playing
verb.
you.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think I was like, don't listen to Chief. I don't want his take on snacks. I was slandering you, which I do to your face. It's all love.
That's fine. No.
Not for me.
So I would eat the pound cake and the coffee cake many times. I'm not touching the other 3 again.
You don't like the chocolate. You like the golden cake.
I
variety
think
of
that's
Drake's.
kind of standard for my entire life.
Fair.
I have like a weird, like almost alcohol-y aftertaste with that.
Really?
Last one.
No, I didn't hate that. I'd say pound cake. I'd say funny bone. I'd say this is 3 Devil Dog, 4 ring ding, 5 coffee cake.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting the devil dog at number 3. Devil dog's pretty good.
I feel like
Dog's
we're
not bad.
I feel like we're bad. I didn't like
I don't
that
think
at all.
any of them are bad.
No.
This is like old serious radio days where I tried a Pop-Tart for the first time.
Yeah, we're all,
Yeah.
This is all of our first times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, look out for that show. Hopefully, like I said, it's coming Monday. Snack Boys, Barstool. Me and Clem, we just are rating snacks that we've never tried. We did like 30 of them, so we got a bunch banked. And then you guys came on for an episode apiece.
Yep.
It was just boys talking snacks.
I liked my snack. You guys didn't like it as much, but
We'll see.
That's
we
what
just
the
hammered
show's
through the
for.
grocery store. $140 worth of snacks, I believe we bought the day of the dozen finals.
I want to know what that cashier was like. Was he giving you guys any mean mugs or anything like that?
I think he like gave us like a hotline number in case we're looking to hurt ourselves, because it's like that's one way to go. That's a heck of a way to go out, right? It's
No,
like
she
the opposite of sleeping.
Clem, remember, she was fired up. She's like, "Oh my god, this is awesome! I've never seen these." She's like, "My sister likes these," or this. She was like, "Yeah, we're doing like a YouTube show." She's like, "Oh no way, I'm gonna watch." Remember, she was like fired up.
Yeah, well, I'll go back to Mariano's, which I've never even heard of before. It's like a Chicago thing or a Midwest thing. So it's like kind of just a snack-sized show even. It's like 2 minutes, 1 minute, whatever. It's a quick show. Just gives you some takes. Producing does an excellent job making it look good. And, just guys who are giving you their honest opinions. These tongues don't lie.
Yep, short form, less than 3 minutes, everyone. All right, Clem, thank you. We appreciate you.
It's a pleasure, Clem.
Always a pleasure. Hope to see you guys soon. And Ed, save me one of those pound cakes, because I'm telling you, I've never had them. And now I'm like, these were
awesome.
The goats hiding in plain form. It
was awesome.
I got you. I'll put it on a shelf just for you.
All right, thank you, buddy.
I think that's it. That's it for the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thanks for watching.
it's a nice way to end.
Yeah, that's a nice, positive way to end after talking about our dreadful sports team. So, shout out to that.
Oh, Team Giddy too, champions. So if you want a little nice way to end it, we're champions.
Ed made sure we started the show with that.
You're right. Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Now the ending of the show sucks.
I got the kids' first day of summer break just started about an hour ago, so I'm in the shit right now. I'm in trouble,
No.
so
Good luck,
you guys.
Clem.
Enjoy your freedom. Good seeing you guys.
Good, you too. All right, everyone. We'll
I
see
got
ya.
one more thing, not to ruin the show for you more, Chief. But I found, you remember when we did the opening day vlog? There's only one place you can get grilled dogs. I have learned that's completely not true.
That's true.
They sell grilled dogs in the bleachers.
No, they don't. Well, bleachers, I don't know. I haven't been to the bleachers.
They have grilled dogs in the bleachers. Where I got that beef, they had grilled dogs at that station too.
It's a misnomer. Yeah. It says it's the grill, but the dogs aren't grilled.
Okay.
The all beef Vienna dogs are in right field. They have a different sign.
Also, the show's not over yet. We have to talk about something very important. Clem, you can stay as long as you'd like. Lance didn't bring this up. He got fucking pizza jacked last night at Gunpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza jacked.
We
don't know Gunpoint.
Yeah.
We don't know Gunpoint.
Threatened though.
Yeah, definitely threatened. It was maybe
Tell the story. You have to tell it.
I was walking home with a pizza, a little pizza place close to me, and I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I was wrapping up a phone call on like the stoop. I live in like a bungalow house, and this car pulled through an alleyway, started reversing back, and kind of once they reversed back, I thought, shit. Kind of 4 dudes, ski mask, jump out. 3 or 4 jump out, and we're like dive. We don't really fight, but we're dodging each other. And they took my pizza and knocked my phone out of my hand, and the phone landed in the pizza box. And I somehow go back into the car, grab the phone, and I get my phone back, kind of just swerve my way back into my house. But they stole my pizza, and I was pissed off. I was like, damn. I was happy to be alive, but I was actually hungry. So after a couple minutes passed, I was like, fuck, man, I really want that pizza.
I wanted that pizza. I'm glad you're okay, Lance.
That's pretty fucking wild.
It is.
Yeah.
And the wildest part about it is that you 4 masked potential gunmen, you just are like, oh fuck my phone. You just go and rip through the back seat and grab your phone. I would have been trying to get away from them. Phone be damned.
They were. I will say,
maybe I'm just a pussy.
They were small. They were trying to grab me, and I'm not necessarily the biggest. I'm tall, but I'm not necessarily jacked or super intimidating looking, I suppose. They could not grab me. And I kind of just kept hitting them with stiff arms and swim moves and stuff. So I wasn't oh shit. I think if I had gotten hit, I might have not gone for my phone. But I was kind of they seemed younger. They seemed maybe they were inexperienced doing this. So I kind of just was give me my fucking phone.
They're amateur jackers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they ended up with just a pizza.
Yeah. They must have felt kind of disappointed.
One day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope they learned a lesson.
That's it. Yeah. All right, then. Glad you're okay, Lance.
We're good.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Clem.